Welcome to Map Your Mind. Travel through the world with your brain. Nestled in the rolling hills and highlands of southern Africa lies a small kingdom with a mighty soul. A land of misty mountains, sacred rituals, and kings who speak to the spirits of the ancestors. This is Eswatini, one of Africa's last remaining absolute monarchies, and one of its most culturally vibrant nations. At first glance, Eswatini might seem like just a tiny spot between South Africa and Mozambique. But look closer, and you'll discover a deep well of tradition, resilience, and royal pride that has carried this nation through centuries of change and challenge. Before there was Eswatini, there were clans, ancient Nguni-speaking peoples who migrated southward from the Great Lakes, region of East Africa. These early communities, guided by chiefs and spiritual leaders, settled the fertile valleys and forested mountains. They lived in harmony with the land, practicing farming, cattle herding, and rich oral storytelling traditions that kept history alive across generations. In the 18th century, one clan would rise to unify them all. Led by a visionary leader named Dlamini III, and later his grandson Ngwana III, the Swazi nation was born. Ngwana III is remembered as the first true king of modern Eswatini. He established his capital in the south and began to consolidate power, drawing together smaller clans under his banner. But it was under King Sobhuza I, known as Somlolo, or the Mystic King, that Eswatini became a force to be reckoned with. He led his people through the chaotic Mafane period, a time when wars and migrations tore through southern Africa. As the powerful Zulu kingdom expanded under Shaka Zulu, many smaller groups were displaced, including some who were absorbed into the growing Swazi nation. Sobhuza I was a skilled diplomat and strategist. He ensured the survival of his people by balancing warfare with alliances, and he moved the capital north to better defend against enemies. His reign laid the foundation for the modern Swazi monarchy. In the 19th century, the Swazi kingdom encountered a new kind of challenge: European colonization. The British and Boers, Dutch-descended settlers from South Africa, were carving up southern Africa, eyeing Eswatini's land and resources. Initially, the Swazi kings tried to play the powers off each other, granting concessions while holding onto sovereignty. But eventually, Eswatini became a protectorate under British rule in 1903. Unlike many African countries, Eswatini wasn't directly colonized in the harshest sense. It kept its kings, its customs, and some degree of internal autonomy. The British ruled indirectly through the royal house, and traditional authority structures remained largely intact. But the country still faced economic marginalization and land loss. When decolonization swept through Africa in the mid-20th century, Eswatini was ready. In 1968, under the leadership of King Sobhuza II, the longest reigning monarch in world history, Eswatini gained full independence from Britain. Sobhuza was no ordinary king. He ruled for 82 years, guiding the country through colonialism, independence, and the modern world. Just 5 years after independence, in 1973, Sobhuza made a bold move. He repealed the constitution, dissolved parliament, and declared Eswatini an absolute monarchy, a return to traditional rule. Some saw it as a way to protect Swazi culture from foreign political systems. Others criticized it as authoritarianism. When Sobhuza passed away in 1982, the nation mourned deeply. He left behind a legacy of unity and pride, and a young heir, Prince Makhosetive, who would become King Mswati III. At just 18 years old, Mswati was crowned in 1986. He became one of the youngest monarchs in modern history. Mswati III still rules Eswatini today. He is both a cultural symbol and a deeply controversial figure. Supporters see him as a guardian of tradition. Critics point to human rights issues, political suppression, and wealth disparities in a nation where many still live in poverty. But the monarchy is more than just one man. It's a cultural institution woven into the identity of the people. Every year, the nation gathers for the Mhlanga, or Reed Dance, a week-long celebration of Swazi womanhood and royalty. Tens of thousands of young women dressed in traditional attire dance, and present reeds to the Queen Mother in a powerful ritual of renewal. Then there's Nkwala, the kingship ceremony, when the king eats the first fruit of the season. It's a moment of spiritual alignment between ruler, people, and ancestors. These rituals aren't performances for tourists. They're the living pulse of a nation rooted in respect, rhythm, and resilience. Today, Eswatini balances ancient ways with modern challenges. It faces issues of HIV/AIDS, youth unemployment, and a growing call for democratic reform. But it also boasts high literacy rates, strong traditional arts, and a deeply rooted sense of national pride. In 2018, to mark 50 years of independence, King Mswati III changed the country's name from Swaziland to Eswatini. It was a reclaiming of identity, using the native language to define the land once again. Eswatini means land of the Swazis. Short, powerful, proud. Fun fact, Eswatini is one of the few countries in the world that still practices dual governance, with both a modern parliament and an active traditional monarchy existing side by side. That means laws can pass through both a prime minister and a king, a complex but unique system of hybrid rule. So, when you think of Eswatini, don't just think tiny African kingdom. Think of a nation that walks proudly between past and future, where drums still echo in sacred valleys, where young women still sing under the stars, where kings still dance in lion skins, and where the people, despite all odds, continue to write their story with rhythm, grace, and fire. Where will your mind travel next?